Let's keep this conversation going. Bring in former Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston joining us this morning from rural South Carolina. Congressman, good morning. Good to see you.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, who has got, same question to you, Congressman. Who's got to perform tonight? Who is it? Is it more pressure on Dr. Oz or more pressure on John Fetterman?
I think individually there's more pressure on Fetterman because he's incompetent. He's not really able to perform. And frankly, having a screen, that's a cheat sheet. That's like going to an exam with all the answers. So I think the expectations are low for him, but he still has to perform. Oz right now is picking up a lot of momentum, and he's picking it up based on Biden approval rating, on crime, on open border, on fracking, high energy prices, food prices, and everything else. So he actually is starting to get some traction that was not there. And, you know, you were talking about the early voting. A lot of states right now are having more and more early voting. Republicans are using it, which at levels that they were not 4 years ago. So it does change the dynamics, which is, of course, why Fetterman has slow-walked the commitment to have this debate.
Yeah, and so many Democrats are pumping money into Fetterman's campaign. It's unbelievable to see these numbers. Congressman, we're 2 weeks away from the midterms. You mentioned people are voting early. What are you expecting to see? Do you think that the GOP can take the House and Senate?
Yes, I stay close contact with the people involved in these 8 swing races. We're looking very good in Nevada. Things are picking up in Arizona. In Georgia, my home state, Herschel Walker is coming on strong. And it is the same theme that people are very concerned about the right track, wrong track, and believe America's on the wrong track. They don't believe Biden is doing a good job. They see it every time they go to the grocery store or the gas pump, or in Atlanta, Georgia, which for the 3rd year in a row has broken the murder rate because of incompetent blue city mayors and their ridiculous policies that favor the criminals over the victims.
Jack, Georgia, this Senate race that you just mentioned, do you think, and I'm just asking this because we might have another Georgia runoff, there's a Libertarian candidate running against Warnock and Walker in that Senate race who could siphon off 2, 3, 4% of the vote, which would then mean a December runoff between these two right here, Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. Do you think we have a winner on election night?
I think Herschel could eke it out depending on Brian Kemp's margin of victory. Brian Kemp is picking up steam each and every week. He has been doing that really since the summer. And so I think if he wins by, say, 6 to 7%, there's going to be enough coattail effect on Herschel Walker that he can do it without a runoff, too. But if he doesn't, it still will be a Biden referendum in the runoff, and I think Herschel Walker would win that, as Paul Coverdale did and Saxby Chambliss did many elections ago.
Yeah, just a final question for you, sir. There's already 7 million people who voted. We have these debates. We know the debate's not going to happen, most likely in Arizona. How important are these debates to have? And should every candidate do one?
Well, they're less and less important. I think that now with all the media outlets that there are and all the information that people are making up their minds, particularly since people seem to be voting party a lot more than voting for the individual. However, debates are still important because it does, as Nan Hayworth was just saying, it shows the candidate's ability to think on his or her feet.
Right.
And when you're a member of a legislative body, you've got to be quick and digesting information, applying it to your philosophy, and articulating a statement.
Congressman, I'm speaking off the top of my head, but you were in Congress when Bob Dole ran for president '96.
Yes.
With Jack Kemp, right? The former football player?
Yes.
So Tom Brady, Ron DeSantis, it's not that out of
You think this is going to happen?
He was there. It wasn't a joke then. It could happen.
You know, Jack Kemp was a great member of Congress, but you think about Jim Bunning, who was the Philadelphia pitcher for the Phillies. You think about J.C. Watts, who played football at Oklahoma. Heath Schuler, who played for the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
There have been a lot of great athletes. So, you know, Jim Ryan, who ran a track in the Olympics.
I knew it.
We'll see.
Congressman, good to see you again. We're getting closer and closer to the midterms. Appreciate you breaking that down for us. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks.
You too. I knew he would know. I knew he would know all the names there.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
Let me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.